If you're an experienced health or wellness professional and you're having a hard time turning your expertise into an offer you can sell online, this video is for you. Because I'm going to show you 3 steps to follow so you can package what you do into an offer people can't find anywhere else. Make sure you pay close attention to the second 2 because they're the ones that most people, including a lot of expert marketers, skip. In case you're new to me, I'm Nicole Piper, and I'm coming to you today from Beaune, France, right in the heart of Burgundy. It's market day here, and if you stick around to the end, I'll show you a little bit of this beautiful town. But first, let me tell you about one of the most common problems I see after helping over 1,000 health and wellness professionals build profitable online businesses. And the irony is, it's often the more experienced professionals that have the hardest time with this. You'd think having 10, 15, 20 years of clinical experience would make it easier to create an offer that people will buy. But it actually can make it harder because you see so many connections, you know so many ways to help people, and you understand how everything relates to everything else. So when someone says something like just pick a niche and create a program, you might not know where to start because how do you narrow down decades of knowledge into just one thing? And here's what makes it even worse. You might see coaches online who got certified 6 months ago, and from the outside, their offers look just as credible as what you could put together. You know you've got so much more experience to bring to this than they do. If only you could figure out how to communicate it. That's incredibly frustrating. And the problem is nobody's shown you how to take what you already know and turn it into an offer that shows people why you're different. That's a packaging problem, and it's solvable. So let me walk you through the 3 steps to do it. The first step is to find a high motivation problem with proven demand. Now, you've probably been told to pick a niche, and I've talked about the problem with that advice in a lot of other videos. But the one I want to mention here is that it puts your focus in the wrong place. It makes you think about labels and categories, like women over 40, gut health, autoimmune. But people don't buy categories. They buy solutions to problems they're desperate to solve. So instead of asking, what's my niche, the better question is, what am I uniquely equipped to solve that people are actively looking for help with right now? And that second part is critical, that people are actively looking for help with right now, because you might be passionate about a particular problem and you might be great at solving it, but if there aren't enough people actively seeking help with it, or if the market is so crowded that you have to fight to be heard, your marketing is going to feel like pushing a boulder uphill. Let me give you an example. I worked with a practitioner named Joy. She wanted to focus on helping people with Hashimoto's. She had deep expertise in this area, including her own story, and was confident she could help people get results. But a marketer told her it probably wasn't the right space to focus on because there were too many people already doing it, so it'd be too hard to stand out. Well, that advice was based on an assumption. It wasn't based on real data, and it wasn't at all based on Joy's specific expertise. So I did what I always do with my clients, and that's deep research. I looked at audience size, search demand, what people were actively asking for help with, where existing solutions were falling short, and what gaps existed. And the data told a very different story. Not only was the market large, there were segments of it that were underserved. There were people out there who were frustrated, confused, and actively looking for answers that Joy could give them. So there were gaps that Joy was actually perfectly aligned to fill. That's why I always start by doing deep research. It replaces guessing with real evidence, and it shows you where the gaps are, because gaps are where the opportunities live. So the first step isn't pick a niche, it's find a problem with real demand and real gaps you can fill. That's a completely different starting point. Okay, the second step is about surfacing the insight that makes your approach different. Once you know where there's a real opportunity, the next question is, why you? What makes your approach to this problem different from what's already out there? And this is where your deep expertise becomes your biggest advantage, even though it probably doesn't feel like it right now. Here's what I mean. You know things about this problem that less experienced practitioners don't know. And you've seen patterns. You understand why certain protocols fail for certain people. You know the underlying mechanisms. You've probably figured out approaches and connections that you developed through the years of working with real clients. And all of that knowledge is sitting in your head. And most of it has never made it into your marketing. So the question is, which piece of what you know would make the biggest impact if you built your offer around it? Which insight would make someone stop and think, I've I've never heard anyone explain it that way before. That's what I call your pixie dust. And finding it is usually not about learning something new. It's about seeing what you already know in a new way. So going back to Joy, she had a unique approach to Hashimoto's. It was something she'd already understood from her training and her own experience. And it was the perfect thing to set her apart. So I mapped out where all of Joy's competitors in the Hashimoto's space were, and we identified gaps that Joy could actually own. So this moved Joy away from being just another Hashimoto's practitioner. She had a specific perspective on the problem that nobody else was communicating, and that gave her something genuinely different to build on. I did a full video on how to find your pixie dust, so I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to go deeper. But the key point for this video is your insight already exists inside what you know. You just need to find the one that matters most to the people you want to help. Okay, we're into the final step, and that's to build your offer around your unique approach. This is where everything comes together. So you found a problem with real demand and real gaps. You've surfaced the insight that makes your approach different, and now you need to package it into an offer people can't find anywhere else. And here's where many people go wrong. They build their offer around an outcome. I help people heal their gut. I help women balance their hormones, or I help people lose weight. Outcomes matter. People need to know what they're going to get. But when your offer only promises an outcome, you're competing with everyone else who promises the same thing. And then it becomes about price. So what sets your offer apart is your approach, the specific way you solve the problem that nobody else is doing. The insight you uncovered in step 2, the process you've developed that addresses something everyone else is missing. So when you build your offer around your approach and not just the outcome, you create something people genuinely can't find anywhere else. And this is where you create your signature system. Your signature system is the process of transformation you take people through to get results. But what I want to be clear about here is I'm not talking about your program. This is about creating a marketing message that helps people see the path that will get them where they want to be. So that's the difference between an offer that competes on price and an offer that stands alone. I have another video that goes deeper into how to build your signature system, and I'll link to that one in the description too. But the foundation has to come first, and that foundation is the 3 steps we just covered. So let me pull this all together. If you're an experienced health or wellness professional and you've been struggling to turn what you know into a compelling online offer, the answer isn't more training, picking a narrower niche, or trying another guru's marketing tactics. It's 3 things. First, find a high motivation problem with real demand and real gaps. Don't guess here. You need to do that research that validates it. Second, surface the specific insight from your own expertise that makes your approach different from what's already out there. And third, build your offer around that unique approach so you have something nobody else can offer. When you do these 3 things, you stop competing with coaches who have a fraction of your experience. You stop blending in, and you create an offer that people who've tried everything and still haven't found the answer see and think, this is exactly what I've been looking for. Now, these 3 steps are at the core of my trust-based marketing method. It's a process I developed specifically for health and wellness professionals based on what I learned helping over 1,000 of them build their online businesses. And it starts by validating your offer. So making sure there's real demand for what you want to focus on before you invest time and money building everything out. And as part of that process, you find the gaps, so the underserved parts of your audience that your competitors aren't touching, and that gives you a golden opportunity to focus on. Step 2 is about showing people what makes you different from every other coach out there. So you do this with your pixie dust positioning, that unique insight that makes people see you as the obvious choice. And step 3 is choosing the right marketing path. So figuring out the structure that fits your situation, your budget, and how you actually want to run your business. I wrote a mini book that walks you through the whole method, and there's a link to it in the description. And that's what I have for you today. Now, if this video helped you see your expertise in a new light, give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because I share marketing strategies specifically for health and wellness professionals who want to build profitable online businesses. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to stick around if you want to see more footage of this beautiful town, Beaune. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.